Heartland RV. Really excited, and I'm hoping that everybody listening is really going to tune in because today my guest is Jeff Malatesta, who in my mind is a hero. He served our country, and he's going to get into that. So God bless you, Jeff, for that. But Jeff owns RV Diagnostics with an S. So on today's show, I'm introducing everyone to somebody, listen up, that can save you money and help you learn how to take care of your coach. So really excited to have you, Jeff, on the Where's Willie podcast. Thank you for taking some time.
Thank you, Willie, for introducing me there.
Yeah. So, all right, before we get into me going berserko on you on Facebook because I found you first, to be clear, you're not tied to Heartland, Cruiser, DRV, Tiffin, any brand. You are just a gentleman that's been helping a lot of people, and that's why I want to make sure I had you on as a guest so you can help even more people. So I apologize to your wife, but you probably won't be getting much sleep as we move forward. So before we get into what is RV Diagnostics, just if you would, Jeff, kind of just give us your background. Where did you grow up? Where's RV Diagnostics based? And how did you get to be who you are today?
I grew up around Baltimore, Maryland, Glen Burnie, Brooklyn Park. I was born in 1959. So I lived through the 60s and 70s in that area. And then one day I decided to join the military for education benefits. Mm-hmm. And then lo and behold, I fell in love with what I was doing. It was a meaning and a passion. Most of my time was spent on the East-West German border, which no longer exists. It was called the Cold War. Met a lot of very good soldiers, men, people. And then we ended up in the desert. Of course, you know, we did our best out there. And now for some reason we're here, and life is a journey. How did I get involved in RVs? It just happened. I love them. It's camping. I guess in the Army we did camp, but at a different level. Outside of that, that's it. We're sitting here with you now, Willie, and we're going to see where this goes.
Sure. So, all right. So for everybody listening to, and I've been very transparent and honest with everybody, September 18th, I left a industry that's high precision, advanced robotics, working with military, aerospace, companies like Intel, Tesla. And then I come to the world of RVs. It is, I don't want to say the opposite of NASA, but it is the only industry where we're not heavily automated. And I don't care what brand it is. And, you know, you and I had talked offline, as I told you, you know, the Where's Willie podcast is powered by Heartland, my employer. Heartland RV is one of many brands, along with Cruiser RV and DRV. Those are the three brands I represent as the national brand manager. But that our group is just a few of many under Thor Industries. So our product line is not motor coach. We're all travel trailer, fifth wheel, and toy hauler. Okay. Mm-hmm. You and I had some discussion about me coming to this industry, some of the opportunities that I recognize. To me, of course, and I don't care what brand it is, we're all striving to make a more innovation in a product for people to enjoy camping, to do more. You know, we're talking about boondocking now, right? So not your ability to be able to camp with your family safely because of all of the things that your coach provides, whether it's you've got enough water, you've got a generator, etc. That's all well and good. The opportunity that I'm recognizing, though, quickly as the national brand manager is every company needs to have somebody, and I give credit to our president, Mr. Ryan Jude. He sought me out. He said, hey, time out. We're going to continue with our current group of working on the 2021 model and all the new floor plans. But I need somebody that's willing to, and it's not going to be an easy job, engaging with customers and start realizing the void of communication, the void of information that they don't have after the purchase. So Jeff, I asked you to come on here because I'm recognizing what you're doing is nothing short of a miracle for a lot of people. Because I want to spell this out to the listeners. People see a promo or a video of a brand. They say, I could go out to Big Sky, Montana and that. Then they go find that authorized dealer and they get what they call a PDI or shakedown. Or because of the internet, unfortunately, they're getting the keys and saying, here you go. And what I have found, Jeff, and you have agreed with me, 99% of the people, they have the money, but they have no idea, and they have a high expectation that they never have to do maintenance on these things, both of which are huge grounds for failure.
Yes.
I don't care what brand you buy and all the efforts that we put forth, because 90% of the product that we actually make are component or supplied parts. So the challenge is after you buy these things and you're going down the road at 60 mile an hour with cross side winds, that's a lot of stress on screws and sidewalls. And then you've got moisture. And then, oh, wait, I'm supposed to reseal this every so often? I thought I buy it and I don't have to do anything. And then you get delamination and then water damage and then mold. And it really ruins people's life's journeys. So when I found you, Jeff, and here's what I'm going to ask you directly. So for everybody listening, RV Diagnostics with an S. You are not a brick and mortar where we're going to get a parade of 5,000 RVs lining up and heading to your address. What is RV Diagnostics with an S?
What I do is help people learn the systems. Like I say, every manufacturer uses basically the same components. Norcold refrigerators, Atwood water heaters, Atwood propane heaters. So there's a commonality amongst them all. And we try to get everybody and how to figure out why the heat ain't working. Mm-hmm. So there's an old saying is, why are you working on something when it's broke when you don't know how it works when it's right? So I take them down that little journey. Some of them, you go, hey, you got a multimeter? And they go, I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to teach them how to use it. It works, and it never was planned to work. It was just me trying to help somebody. I was on the Outer Banks, and he was down the road a little bit because Outer Banks miles long, 1 mile wide. And I don't blame him for what he said. He says, I don't know you. You could be somebody hurt me. I said, you're right. So let me help you over Facebook. And that's how it started. There you go. 15,000 members, RV Diagnostics Facebook page. Please go there, sign up. It'll ask you make, model, year, some information to help us. And the biggest thing we can ask of you as owners of these, please read the books that come with the RV. Familiarize yourself with all that stuff. I don't care if you know the jargon, you're going to learn. This is what this is. You're going to have a beautiful time, have fun, go camping, go on your life journey. But like you say, sometimes it rains, sometimes it storms, but go to the place. And that's because we help each other.
Yeah.
Now, so overwhelmed helping people, I opened up a website. It costs money to run a website. So I'm not even making money, but I've been doing this all my life. And yes, I do have a brick and mortar place where I work on $500,000 Class A's. I work on travel trailers if you have one, but for some reason I do a bunch of Class A's. I own a Class A, or two of them actually. So I know what you're going through as an RV owner, but
Yep.
the website does a one-on-one with you. So you join it. It's right now the price I think is like $85 a year, $7 a month. And I talk to you, and I just don't talk to you, but I show you the multimeter, where to sit, where to put the leads and touch it. And believe it or not, we're learning. That's the great thing about it. Y'all are learning, and this gives you the one thing we all know about warranty. It's there. You're right. But you take it to the guy that has the warranty shop repair, you're going to say goodbye 3 months, and there went your summer adventure. So we're trying to help each other. We are a team. That's what we are. It's not just me. I need you, the RV owner, to understand you got to learn your RV. And I kind of with Willie, I asked him when we met, the ultimate question is, you bought a new car or you bought this car, whether new or used. Did you actually read the owner's manual? 99% of us don't. I'm one of them, but I have learned over time to do that. So what can I tell you? And there's the YouTube channel where I break things down very simplistic. I don't need you to know engineering terms. I just need you to figure it out, get the heat back in there, get the hot water, friends, your kids.
All right. So the one thing that I want to be clear then for all the listeners, basically, RV Diagnostics, you have a mechanic available. Now, I won't want to say 24/7, but you can text, you can make a virtual appointment. So as I've been saying over and over again, in this world of RVs, after the purchase, to be able to get your coach in for service, three things happen. One, no availability. Two, if they got it, they're holding it hostage for 3 months plus, I hear. I'm not insulting any service centers. This is what the communities are saying.
They're
And then
overwhelmed.
the third thing they talk about is price. They're spending thousands of dollars to fix this coach that should have never had problems. And what RV Diagnostics then does is it helps potentially, if you're willing to have the aptitude to do it yourself, to remove the 3 months of hostage holding that your coach is in. You're going to save money because of what you're paying at the $85 per year to have somebody virtually who's a mechanic help you through the process and teach you to do it yourself. That's going to save you a lot of money, and you're going to learn how to do it so you don't have to be dependent on these limited, unavailable, scarce RV service centers.
That is correct, Willie. The fact is, you got another problem out there, which is the parts demand. So you can't blame the guy that you dropped the RV off to for 3 months at a time, because he'll probably figure it out, right? And he goes, well, I got to order the part. And so you're going to eliminate some of that. Life isn't one of the best roses, a bed of a rose garden, but there's some thorns in a rose.
Yep.
But one thing about RVing is it's a journey. And I think some of us, they want to rose color that journey. It's just awesome. It's neat to get in these things and go travel, have a good time. Everybody comes back safe. And when you say there's a mechanic, you're actually talking to the guy.
Yeah.
It's just me right now. I'm trying to find another one that has a one-to-one personality approach.
Yep.
And is not doesn't speak very technical. And like I said, I did learn that in the military. Yeah. I learned how to help people learn the M1 tank, which was way ahead of its time. And I had a blast. I thank everybody out there for your tax money that purchased that, because that thing got a war, and it did a darn good job. But once again, we're going to help you. And there's plenty of Facebook page that I monitor. And I'm getting ready to be 62. So mine of turning wrenches and troubleshooting on a personal note is going to slowly to an end. But I would hate to see all that knowledge go to waste. So this is probably why I started that. And the other venture I found out about this had nothing to do with money, with people signing up at a website. There's about 18 RV garages that belong to it. So I don't care who you are. Hopefully you don't care who I am, in the sense of we have something in common. It's called recreational vehicles, and we want to have a good time. So we're going to help each other, and you're part of a team. But the thing is, I found too that most of the people, they go, hey, you going to travel? My goal, I want to go to Alaska in my 40-foot diesel pusher. There you go. Believe it or not, what's come out of this, a lot of the people said, hey, I run a campground. I own a campground. Hey, I have this. Stop by and say hello. No charge, no nothing. So it is a community. The RV community has its problems. The manufacturing can't keep up with it. The demand is high. The poor guys in the base, they're being overworked. So it's time for the RV owner to step up and say, hey, I can do this. And trust me, if you go on the YouTube channel, you're going to see a lady that was 70-some years old. She rewired her RV. I guided her step by step. And believe it or not, she is happy. She is proud. Years old. She redid her RV, and now she's out there having a blast. So hopefully we meet more of y'all out there.
That's
like
awesome,
that.
Jeff. That's awesome, Jeff. And I want to let the listeners know. So we're clear. And I'm just going to outline a couple things. My water heater is not working. I need to winterize. I need help with sealing. My thermostat's not working. This wood panel fell off. Can you help with all of those things I just mentioned and then some? Are there any limits? So you mentioned motor coach. Do you help with engine diagnostics as well? What limits do you have in terms of somebody signs up with RV Diagnostics, so we know?
I can say this. I've been doing this since 12 years old. I'm getting ready to be 62. I have some certifications, ASE. It's the technical name is Automotive Service Excellence. You know what I call it? Ain't seen everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you say, these new RVs are coming out with multiplexing systems. Whether you know what that is or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to help you through it because I worked on the multiplex in the 1980s. I've been doing this for almost 50 years. And there's a saying, if your job is your passion, it really isn't a job.
Right.
So we are lucky found each other because I love what I do. And my wife sometimes has to shut me down because I'll do it 7 days a week. And she said, get an RV and go. So it is what it is. Guys, it's a Facebook page called RV Diagnostics. Get out there, sign up. You're gonna have a blast on there, but we don't bring nothing else into it but what is wrong with your RV. There's a little video I called Mech P. And the funny part is, you gotta remember, I had to teach mechanics how to become mechanics. They joined the military thinking they wanted to be a mechanic. Well, they didn't even know what a 14 millimeter was. So as a senior NCO, it's your job to teach them. So I learned the word mechanic, the first four letters of CH. So if you take M for mechanical, E for electrical, C for chemical, H for hydraulics, and the last letter would P, pneumatics, the study of pneumatics. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So that's I help you learn, because you take a fuel injector, it takes electricity, makes magnetism, movement, allows a chemical to go through, which is fluid hydraulic. And don't laugh at this. It's benzene, it's gas, it's hydrocarbon. We didn't even leave the first four letters of NECH, and we just discussed how injector work. So trust me, for those RVers out there buying RVers, you're going to do it. You're going to learn, and you're going to help somebody learn. That's the whole thing. The teacher is a pupil is a teacher, and I will live by that to the day they put me in the ground. So thank you very much for checking out the page. The website is www.rvdiagnostics.com. That's where we do a one-on-one. Please join the Facebook page. You're going to have a blast on there. You're going to go, oh man, I had that. Let me try to help them. So it's not just about me. It's about us.
So to everyone listening, saving you money, helping you learn, you're welcome. I'm so glad, Jeff, you took time to be a guest of the Where's Willie podcast. You are going to stay my friend. I'm going to share you with everybody. It has been a pleasure getting to know you. You wear your heart on your sleeve. And the thing that most impresses me is you do care. And I think that this new virtual approach is really ahead of the curve because it's going to help fight the problems that so many people have, which is availability for parts, availability for service, and the ability for them to get back on the road on their journey. So, Jeff, thank you for being a guest of the Where's Willie podcast. This podcast is part of a suite of podcasts produced and managed by Jacket Media Co. So please, if you enjoyed the podcast, reach out and say hello to our partners as well. Thank you guys all for tuning in and learning how you can save money and take care of your RV and continue on your life's journey with your family. Thanks, everybody.